What we're going to do today is wire up a motor in this ZR 120 or Yamaha 120, same thing. We've got the Briggs Animal 206 installed for a motor swap. Go-kart engine, very good, strong engine. Works well in these sleds. The thing is, though, you have to rewire the kill switch and tether cord to work in these sleds. For safety and for racing, it's required. And you can use the stock wiring harness, which I've used in the past, but there are loose wires everywhere that you're not using anymore. So that's what our stock wiring harness looks like. I pulled it out and I'm going to rewire it and show you how to do that. So it's a little confusing because you have to wire both switches, whereas on a card it would only use one. So we do have our tether cord switch there, and the end of our button kill switch there. So zoomed in here, these are the original kill switch wires from the motor, and they come attached to a switch which you'll have to remove to make it work. So the black wire is the wire coming from the ignition coil, and the red is their ground. And all that switch does when it's on there, when you press it in, is close that circuit and sends the ignition coil power to the ground. The ignition coil is located right under the orange cover, and typically it sends its power directly to the spark plug wire, to the spark plug. So when you close the kill switch circuit, you're sending it to the ground instead of to the spark plug. So here we're looking at our tether cord, and the tip is to replace the stock tether itself. You can cut the rubber off or make the hole on the hood a little bit bigger, because the hood will contact the stock one and knock it off in different situations. And we're looking at the button kill switch here. It's a good idea to replace this if you're racing too, because the stock one is that one. So something that might help you out is to use a multimeter. I'm not an expert on these things or an electrician. What I usually use to test circuits is just ohms, which measures the resistance. So if there's no connection, you're going to have a lot of resistance. It's going to show a well on mine, overload or whatever it stands for, because there's no electrical connection between these two points. So what you're looking for to see if there's a circuit is a really low number. For example, if you touch two pieces of bare metal close to each other, it should read almost 0, 0.4. Same thing if you touch them together, you'll read 0.2, 0.1. So if you test the circuit on these ends, just put one in each one. It's not going to really be able to show you, but here, we'll set this down here. So if we test the two kill switch, so the two tether ends with the probes, you're going to have OL. So there's no connection between the two. If we pull the tether off, we should be completing the circuit there. So 0.2. So very low resistance in the circuit now with the tether off. So now that helps us figure out what we're going to do. So we're basically going to connect the black ignition coil wire to one of the kill switch wires and the ground to the other wire. But since we've got two, we're going to have to run two grounds, two separate grounds. So this is how I've wired this up. I put rings on both the tether and kill switch wires and put on this bolt to ground it. And that's nice and close to both. Keep those wires short. There's the button up there. And I pulled the coil wire back here. It was going through here to the front. Now it's going to go into the side. And I've used the the connection that was on the Briggs motor. I've left it on there, and I added a spade connection to the tether wire. Let's zoom out for the ignition coil circuit, and then I brought the button and tapped into that. So that's just going along here and then back to the ignition coil. So I don't have a ground at the front of the motor anymore. Our ground is to the frame up here, and we don't have wiring harness everywhere. So that's this motor installed, all wired up and ready to go. Thanks for watching.